Good Monday afternoon, everybody. My name is Eli Robinson. I am the Chief Trivia Officer here at Water Cooler Trivia, bringing you our weekly trivia review, talking about our game this week, what people knew, what people didn't know, why we loved it, etc. What is Water Cooler Trivia? We're a weekly trivia game for you, your coworkers, your office mates, your groups, your organizations, your friends, your family, to all come play trivia against each other on the internet. We can have fun, we can learn a little bit, and ultimately, hopefully, keep blood off the carpet. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody should have a good time here at Water Cooler. You can find us online at watercoolertrivia.com. We offer a 4-week free trial, and you can find me online at Chief Trivia Officer. All right, so let's take a look at this week's game. Grafton, West Virginia was the site where Anna Jarvis organized the first Mother's Day observance in 1907, and by 1911, all U.S. states observed the holiday. It only took till 1914 for President Woodrow Wilson to designate Mother's Day as a national holiday held on the second Sunday of May, of course, coming up this weekend. In celebration of the holiday, we asked members of the Water Cooler Trivia team to each contribute a question about their own mother. And yes, we thought this quiz could be a good reminder for you all to get those cards in the mail today. Hopefully, you didn't need this reminder, although we're happy we also did a similar reminder on tax day. There's some deadlines coming up for people. So yeah, this is the first group-sourced trivia game that we've had here at Water Cooler. Most of the time, we pick a lead writer to kind of handle the vast majority of the content creation for a game. In this case, we went to our writer's room and said, why doesn't as many people who were interested as contribute a question? And ended up with something that was really, really fun. So here's what the scores look like. A nice crop of 8s, 9s, and 10s. A few more 10s than we would like, probably. Although this shows that this was particularly accessible. Some of the questions were straightforward. We'll talk about 3 of the ones that might have been a little bit more difficult. But don't mind the stats looking like this, other than perhaps wanting to see a fewer perfect scores, but really, really good. Average of 8.35 and a median of 9. All right, so 3 questions we're going to talk about today. First one, grab a hook, a skein of yarn, and let's make an afghan. While knitting keeps many stitches open at a time, TJ's mom could tell you that what needlework technique completes each stitch before another begins. Okay, so this is the example of a term that everyone knows. They just don't necessarily know what it means. So the answer is crochet. I think if you would have asked a lot of people, like, what's the difference between knitting and crochet, they would not be able to tell you. That makes total sense. If you ask someone who is crochet a type of knitting, they'd probably say yes. That's not true. So there's some, hints in here. I actually thought that the correct answers would be a little bit lower than this. We thought about adding a C hint. So what C needlework technique? I think that probably ended up making it a little bit too simple. But kudos to everybody for knowing what this was, and perhaps the image helped a little bit. But yes, crochet was the correct answer. All right, next one. When Dexter's mother isn't busy holding down the fort and acting as the momager of the household, she's VJing up a few episodes of the clip show Ridiculousness on what cable television channel? So when Dexter had originally submitted this question, he actually had asked us, he had given the host of the show and given away MTV as the answer, and instead wanted us to ask people for Ridiculousness, which isn't unreasonable, although I would have guessed at that point that the correct answer percentage would be down near 20. We do ask questions like that, and we thought about doing it this time, although it felt a bit unfair in the grand scheme of everything that we were doing. So we flipped it around and instead asked for the TV network. I will say that there's really only one hint other than if you knew what ridiculousness was, which is VJing. Video jockeys, of course, were some of the early stars of MTV's network back when they originally kind of hit the air in the late 80s and early 90s. So there weren't a lot of hints. This is another one where I thought the percent correct would be a little bit lower. So good job for everybody for 75% correct. And then mine on weekends mornings, Eli's mom doesn't equivocate about where she wants to eat. You'll find her dining at what yellow and black clad 24-hour hash brown forward diner found at interstate exits throughout the U.S. that promises good food fast. So this one's the Waffle House. One of my mother's favorite restaurants, and mine too. So the question here is whether or not there are any hints in this clue. Like, some people read this question and they actually see tons of hints. They catch the like waffle equivocate one, the colors of the Waffle House, the 24 hours, the hash brown forward, the good food fast. And some people probably read this and are like, I have no idea. So we are careful about this. Like, we ultimately want people to feel like there are hints in the question they can get. But the people who would have got the hints probably didn't need the hints. So a tough one as far as construction was concerned. Still, everybody did really, really well at this, 75% correct, which was awesome. My name is Eli Robinson. Once again, this was Hats Off to Our Moms, and hats off to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day coming up. Next week, we are back with one of our wordplay games that I think people will really, really enjoy. Until then, keep on tripping on.